The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's had a good day thus far. We're about to start our webinar, or we have started a webinar rather. I hope everybody had a chance to go through the disclaimer there. It is quite important. Just recapping, this is not personal advice. This is just general investment advice on securities and derivatives. What I am going to do is, as usual, start off with the Dow. We'll do the S&P 500. Then we'll go and look at the XJO and gold. We'll look at some Aussie shares, another index, and I've also got a request to have a look at some US stocks. So we'll have a look at some of those too. So I'll switch over now to the Dow Jones. Just give us one moment. Okay. Now, as usual, looking at any chart, we always look at the longest time frame. In this case, I'm looking at the monthly. I'll just enlarge that. And of course, as we continue to look at this, we don't see that much change. I mean, after all, one day is 1 month. Just to recap on this from previous webinars, basically what we really see, this is a huge rising wedge, as we can see by the bottom of the trend line, the uptrend, and of course the top, the dash line. It's still inside the rising wedge, so it really still in an uptrend. There's no more, we can't really say much more than that. So looking at it the weekly, let's have a look at here. Now, what we notice on the weekly, if we have a look at this trend line, we can see starts at the bottom of the trend and breaks down, and the price after breaking through is continually, even though it's edging up higher, really it is inside and looking to go sideways. So what we got is in this rectangle, basically like a double top here also. So on the monthly it's a rising wedge, and what we're looking at right now on the weekly is a double top. Now it is on the upper end of the double top. Obviously if it breaks it can go higher. However, in the last webinar what we did do is a price target up and a price target down. So in other words, if it breaks above here, we've done the target, and again, even though the target might be a touch above this particular line, is we only trade it to the line if it breaks up, not above the line, only because the chances are pretty slim. Usually it'll consolidate and probably go down if that was the case. If it breaks to the downside, that's our bottom target basically. But again, as it stands, it is inside this consolidation line. Now, somebody asked me and emailed me to have a sort of bring up when there's a sandwich in play. Now, in here, what we can see, it really is a sandwich. In other words, this is the uptrend. Price broke below, and you can see it's basically locked in between here and here. So in other words, up here above this will be support, below this is resistance. So that's sandwiched in. Okay, now I think if we look at, I think the weekly and the monthlies and the banks will be doing those anyway. It's been requested, so there's more sandwiching in that. But what we see is the price is locked in inside this line. So in other words, it's supported on the downside this way and supported on the upside from underneath. So basically the price is sandwiched in. However, in addition to that, what it has got is basically, if we put this straight line across, there's your major resistance, and it is a double top. So top here, top, and continually hitting it, and bottom, and so forth. Now, looking at the daily, let's have a look at the daily. This is interesting now. Where we are, we can, basically continue this line, but I'm going to clean it up just this a little bit better. Okay. What we have, where are we here? Let's take that. Just put it there. Take this one and raise it a little bit. Now, if we take another line from here, in fact, we probably take it that way. No, we'll take it from here. So what we really have here, just clean that up a little bit actually, maybe like so. Okay, really not clean or anything like so, but it is, as you can see, this is consolidating in. It's a pity because if this bottom part was actually higher, we would have also had a diamond. We don't, so it is, what we've got now is a real consolidation point. It's coming to a decision time. That's what I guess what is coming down. It's either going to break on the above or on below now. I mean, it can come down and consolidate further, but it's decision time, crunch time is coming on the Dow. So really what it's telling us is just keep on watching it before you make any decisions. Any trading that you do on this on the Dow, you really got to be looking at it intraday and just trading inside this range. That's all really you can do. Now, looking at the S&P 500 next, .INX, and let's look at the monthly again. Again, like the Dow, inside this huge rising wedge, as you can see here, like the Dow, it's inside this rising wedge. There really isn't anything else you can say about it. It's inside a rising wedge, it's in an uptrend, and the only time you would consider downside is if it breaks this rising wedge. Going to a weekly, as we can see, pretty much the same. Okay, you can see right now, in fact, if I just magnify it a bit, what we can probably see, okay, it's major resistance at this point here. If it breaks above, at least you can start trading it to the upside for the top of the rising wedge. But right now, you really shouldn't be looking at this unless it breaks above it or below it for that matter. And we can't say much more on the weekly. Let's have a look on the daily. Like the Dow, again, the same thing. We can go from here. And let's clean up this line a little bit. Oops. Here. In fact, this is interesting actually. That's where it really does belong. That line belongs right there. But what it appears to be doing here, we can clone this. It appears that if it does break on the upside, we're going to have an up target. Now, it is a higher high here than this previous point. So it has gone higher, which is quite interesting there. So if we trying to work out our price projections for this, we click at the bottom here, and if I'm taking the tail, just go to the highest body. It's a little bit more conservative, and this is only an estimate. So if it does break on the upside, basically what that is looking at is the 2148 or so to 2150, but it has to break to the upside first. So if the Dow goes up tonight and breaks up, that's what we've got to be looking at as the next move. Like anything else, if any pattern is to fail, you got to find where's its weakest point of failure, and in this case is right at the top of its flagpole, which is around the 2126 mark. So if it would to fail, that's where failure will occur. But this is looking like a bullish flag, and hopefully we'll be looking for a break to the upside. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, let's look at gold, XAU. If we look at the monthly on gold, again, it's still in this consolidation phase. And if we look at the whole consolidation phase on the down like that, following it right around, okay, that's looking like a mesh tail. If it breaks below, then we'll have a fall down 972. In addition to this, if we have a look at where we are, we've got major support area here too. Now, there's a pattern within a pattern. As we've said in previous webinars, this huge pattern is basically a just the entire expansion of this is a broadening formation. So what we're looking at, the problem that we've got here is we've broken below it, and this is major resistance here. So if we extend that line just to demonstrate that, okay. So even if it breaks up, there really is major resistance trying to get to on the upside. So any upside breaking above this point here, you're looking at basically the bottom of this broadening formation. If it breaks to the downside, you've got free fall. And if it breaks to the downside, if we can clone this line, we can see it fits about that. You can see it is inside this channel. So there's so many things going on here: broadening formation, channel, mesh, tail, basically major support here. So really what it's really saying is it's going to get pretty tight unless something major is going to occur. I don't think gold's going very far. That's what it's really saying in this pattern. But if it breaks one way or the other, we should have quite a sharp move. Now, if we look on the weekly on this, what we can see, potentially, here we are, there's a bullish flag, as we did last time, and there's its target on the upside, which is right inside that channel, and that's what we're looking at. All right. So hopefully we'll get a bit of a rally to the upside, so there could be a potential trade. And of course, once that happens, you start looking at gold stocks if you don't want to trade the actual index. If we have a look on the daily, what we're looking at is basically, it's almost like a little channel here, and in addition, potentially there's a little flag there also. So if that breaks to the upside, our targeting would go from the bottom to here to an estimate, and there will be the upside target, which to this point here. I'll just erase that one for the moment. Okay. So basically, if it does break on the upside, now this target, I have to continually stress out, is only valid if it actually breaks to the upside. Okay, only if it breaks to the upside. Now that is gold. Okay. Next one, ANZ. Again, where are we on the monthly? What is this telling us? We really are on top. We really are on top. Now, it might go for a while longer in this range. It's just remember the last rising wedge it had was this one here. And what happened after that? We're sort of almost repeating itself at the moment. So all it's telling us is we're now near the bottom end of the rising wedge. Is it going to break up or is it going to bounce off it? If we look at the weekly now, here we are. On the weekly, we had a bit of a broadening formation, broke on the upside. We had a target all the way up there, but remember, the top of the rising wedge, we said we only trade it to the top of the rising wedge. In addition, what we had is we had a sandwich. As I said, there's a sandwich in the banks. I think also in NAB and Westpac there's a sandwich from memory. And you can see, taking this trend, touch, and of course, brick wall. And pretty much the intersection, just near the intersection here, we had the reversal, although the target is higher. But we only trade to around here, okay, as part of the sandwich and the rising wedge. The thing is, where's it going now? Really, that's what we've got to look at. Let's just extend the line first. Let's extend this line. And any downside, as we can see, is basically to this level here. In addition, if we extend this line, just in case it breaks below, we can see then if that came all the way down to here, it'll be the sandwich off that. So if it took a sharp dive, you can see two main lines to worry about. Let's have a look at the daily. Okay, when we looked at the daily a couple of weeks ago, we saw double tops, although, a true double top, it's got to be a weekly, and it's got to be so many weeks apart anyway. But as in a daily, as a consolidation, it's basically a small double top as a consolidation phase. We target it down, we got it to this level here, and we did a trend. Let me just get rid of this target at the moment just so we can see it more clearly. Okay, and what we can see here is it broke below this point here, and now that became the brick wall. What we do have in addition, if we clone this, okay, bearish flag, and then we target the bearish flag from the top here to the bottom there to its breakup, and here we are, we hit the target already. So there is no other target from this, at least I can't see at the moment, but what we should see now is a consolidation phase. If we have a look also from here, we can see that's, if there was any resistance there, let's go down to a lower level down these, and we can see, I'll just consolidate around here, and just close this in a little bit, at a previous high. We can see from this point, there's your consolidation for you. There was a gap here, it's closed that gap also. There is a gap here also, and the old saying is gaps usually get closed sooner or later. That means it'll come back up to close this gap between these prices. So all we can do right now is look at this consolidation phase, see what pattern. Is it going to make another bearish flag or pennant, or is it going to consolidate and straight to continue to go in its up and merry way. So as we can see, a trend from here. If it goes down, there's another brick wall here. So really the downside is now limited. That's what I guess what I'm saying. So look at this as a consolidation phase now. Next one is National Australia Bank. Just have a look at that for a minute. No, it's all right. I was just trying to see if there's a sandwich there, a clean one, but there isn't. Okay, again, monthly, look at these two lines, rising wedge. If you did it as a channel, it's still inside the channel. However, the target was to there, but we only trade to the top of the rising wedge. And once it breaks above, we can start looking on the upside. So go down to the weekly now. What can we see on the weekly? We can see from this a target was reached. Again, then we got consolidation. And just have a look at this for a moment. Probably take it here. Okay. That's about, actually, just, I think that's from up here too. One sec. That's too low, actually. Remove that one. Okay, we can't do much more than that on the weekly. So other than, obviously, consolidation above here. Okay. Let's look at it on the daily. I think that'll be the most clearest feature. Again, what do you see on the daily? You know, whoever was quick and would have done really well on this. Out of this, we did a price target out of this, and I said it had to break above here if it's failed, and that's where we were looking at if it went to the next level. But remember, if we go back to the monthly, we had more upside, but it was at the top of the wedge. All right, so if it was in the channel, then we would have had more, but it had to break above this wedge. So we only trade to its major resistance point. Let's go back to the daily, just always be aware of that. Consolidation phase. Like so. Targeting down from the flag. And from its consolidation, basically. They were the two targets. We really are there at the moment at the target. It's really not worth going short at this point in time. I think if you look at it, I think you've just missed the boat, so I wouldn't go much more than that. I'd now let it consolidate and start looking what it's going to do next. If we, again, just take a quick little look here on the weekly, we can see it could have a bit more to go down, but there is no other any identifiable major resistance point other we go look parallel to it. We can see that's where that is on that one, and the next one is really realistically probably down here, which it's probably, unless you're trading intraday, it's probably not worth chasing it at this point in time. And that was National Australia Bank. Westpac, probably a similar, oops, sorry, WBC meant to put down. No, probably a similar story. Yeah, it does look very similar, doesn't it? What we had seen, we actually did see it close above one particular month. Now, you can take a little bit of license here. Let me explain what I'm going to say here. See, we've got it on touching the peaks, okay? We've got it touching the peaks. Technically speaking, you also could do it touching the body and part of the peak. Oops. If you do that, of course, just let me just do it a bit more. Just there. There. What we can see, it has still penetrated a little bit and closed below it. Now, I would have been pretty confident if I actually saw it. I thought it would have been over, but since it reversed the following month, obviously I would quickly start closing out. That potentially had a target at 45 because it did break above it. Unfortunately, it has failed through, failed from there. So basically, we have to say that it is still inside this rising wedge. So since it's failed, we consider this now solid. On the weekly, the initial target, just to point out, so if we look at the initial target, is basically, that's its target, okay? So a target was reached. I'll just remove it now. It is back inside it. So we've got to look, is this going to come back down to this level or slow down beforehand? So let's have a look at the daily chart again. As we did in the last webinar, again, we targeted down to here. And what we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, it formed a flag and told us it's going lower. That's actually from here. And that's its target, and it's actually just a bit below it. We don't have any other point where this can get, as in a lower point of a target at this point. So if there's any major resistances from here. So probably consolidates that. It would not surprise me one little bit if it comes and closes this gap here. And yes, it had a few other gaps there too. So down that, I wouldn't say it might get down to this level as yet. Anything's possible, but if anything, I'd say they're consolidating at this point, for the short term at least. So looking at the banks, we don't have much of an upside. Actually, just curious, is there any dividends coming up at the moment? Just have a quick look. Corporate action. No, it actually, as you can see, paid its dividend at just some weeks ago, which is basically November, and it's due in May, 12th of May. So I would say this would probably consolidate and rally up towards the dividend date, and I would say thereafter it might have it'll have a downside to maybe down to these levels down here, possibly even here. But looking at this is trading come dividend at the moment, so I would say it'll be consolidating very shortly and rallying up. Okay. Somebody just said it next week, all ex-dividends. Thanks, Alan. Okay. That was Westpac. And CBA, looks like we're doing all the banks. Now, doesn't it look the same? I mean, if you have a look at monthly, all right, short of its target there before it reversed, still inside. In fact, this one actually went well and truly above its rising wedge, so it almost made it invalid. In fact, it has made it invalid. We'll have to have a closer look. We had a target up to 99 to $100 on that. Well, it looks like we missed it. Not saying it's not going any higher, but certainly didn't go in the time frame that we looked at. On the weekly, the same thing. Really doesn't give us any more information on this one as it stands. We have to go to the daily. This line is invalid now. Okay, bearish flag. I have to say it's not the cleanest, but it's not bad. Hit its target already. If we have a look, we've got here. That's more of a how many bars are here? Just barely. You really need 22 bars, but it's probably just doable. And again, targeting that is just simple as that. But we had a lower target than that anyway, so it really doesn't matter. We don't really have much more than that. Let me see if we clone this line, if we get another channel here first of all. Clone. Yeah, so we only got one touch. We can't even use that as a channel. Barely acceptable, barely. We can't really get any more targets down, unfortunately. That's all we can. I suspect in here, consolidation. No, I can't even get a sandwich, I don't think. Just look. No, I can't even. Oh yeah, no, we can get a sandwich. So basically, a sandwich again. What we have, resistance point, where it struggled. You have to see the struggle part, then eventually broke through. So then as it comes down, this is the sandwich part, consolidation basically. So I would suspect it will just consolidate at this phase. If we try to do, I don't know if we get anything here, just that way, and clone. Oops, clone. And let me extend the line if it's any good. Sort of. It's sort of cut below it, but it's still holding. So it might be a small channel happening also. At the end of the day, no matter which way we look at it, all we're seeing is consolidation, regardless. So I would say consolidate a little bit, and tomorrow's Friday. They're going ex-dividend next week. In fact, that was 12th of May on the other one, as in the thing. So I would say we'll rally towards the dividend. They usually do. And that's CBA. Macquarie, MQG. Next. They're actually not the cleanest that we've seen for a while at the moment. We had a target on Macquarie we did a while ago, some months back. We had a target of between $80 and $86. The target got reached this month up to around 84.45, and we're basically seeing a consolidation phase now. So it's hit its target. What else got? Is it the highest point? Yes. In fact, if we have a look also, just from this point here, okay, when it hit its highest price, it came down, then met its brick wall before it continued its merry way, and basically the reversals occurred just in this spot also. Now let's have a look at the weekly. Hopefully it gives us more data. Actually, not much more. The weekly does show, however, we own a huge consolidation, and we'll go to a daily to see if we can get anything closer again. These are the targets that we had on a daily chart. Hit all these targets, and he went a little bit more. I think when you see a break of this in any way, you really should be bailing out. Crop. You can see it broke below and then all the way up again. I'll just clean it a little bit so I can see it a bit better. I'll just remove the targets. And you can see it went somewhat higher and failed, and that's it. Again, is this trading come? Just have a look again. Corporate action. Where's my C8? Last 12th of November and 14th of May. So this is trading come dividend. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually rallies back here towards its dividend before it goes X. So again, that's the way I'd be treating it. Now, change of tone. We're out of all those. Someone wants NVN. NVN. I've never done that one before. Let's look at the monthly. It certainly is in an up move, isn't it? Let's see, clone. Nah, not good enough, I think. What have we got here? Well, really is not the best. I hope this is a flag. Oops, get up here. It could be a flag at the moment. What we have is a consolidation phase at this point. So from the consolidation phase, we can get a target, first of all. So if that's the consolidation to there, oops, oh, got over done there. Do it again. Which is the target anyway. I'll remove that. So basically, the monthly, all it's given us now, what's left is just this bit here. Now this might be a flag, it mightn't flag, we don't know yet, so I'll just leave that one as it is. Let's go to the weekly. Okay. Clone. If this is a flag, it'll be one hell of a flag, folks. Just want to check how many bars I've got here. 6 bars. Now, flags. Minimum on a weekly is 2 bars, maximum 13 bars, and remember, a flag is only as good as it looks. Now, it's not too bad, even though we've got this bit here. It'd be nice if that wasn't there, wasn't this big long wick here, but it's still a flag. Now, of course, a flag's only when it breaks in the direction of its flag. So if this is a bullish flag, you'd be going from down here to the top to its breakout point, roughly, and you'd be looking at a $3 target if this turns out to be a flag. So if it breaks up to the upside, this is its upside potential. Now, if it were to fail, I keep saying that, it will fail in this area here. Okay? If it were to fail, that's where it would fail. So in other words, if I can get in, if this breaks to the upside and I can get in here, I would trade it towards here and I'd watch it very carefully. If I see it trying to fail there, I'd get the hell out of it. If it then reverses and goes back up and breaks above, then I'll re-jump in. Okay, so that's how you would handle it. Go into the daily. Now this is interesting also here. Huge gap. Oops, what happened there? At some point, this is going to come and close this, all this. Now, having a look at the trend, we are still inside this point. Okay, so this is your uptrend. It also is a probably potential broadening formation, by the way. So there's upside move. So if this can consolidate, we'll be looking for an upside. Now, we have support here, and basically downside here, it's not the best, but it's still a descending triangle. Okay, so if this breaks to the upside, I mean, that's your first target, your second target, and your, third target. It sort of almost marries the weekly at around the $3 mark, doesn't it? So that's off this pattern. So let's see how we go. So that's one to watch. If it breaks on the upside, you know what you've got to do. It's a trade. Whoever asked for that one. Okay. I've got Qantas and CCL to do, but what I will do also, just to show people that might be looking at the odd US stock, how do you get US stock? Someone asked me for QQQ, and basically search, hit the search button, symbol, US, because I'm asking for the symbol, QQQ, because you already told me what they wanted, and here it is here. Click on it, then chart, and there's QQQ. Okay, now let's look at the monthly. Whoa, what an uptrend, eh? Let's have a look. And as we can see, one heck of a rising wedge. Now, remember, rising wedges, usually they are reversal patterns. In fact, what do we got here? Rising wedge, reversal. Do we have anything else? No, that's all I got on that one. So go to a weekly chart. Sorry. Okay, we can see in a very tight range now, aren't we? Maybe I should expand this in here, see it a bit better, and take auto size off. That's a bit better, we can see. Clone. Not the best flag, however, it's still a flag. What a size. You can see the target. Sorry, it's a bit squashed up, but you can see the target. The other way. Wrong way. You can see the target is just above the major resistance, so you only trade it to the resistance point. All right. Take auto size off. You can see it. So only trade it to that point, even though the target is a bit higher than that. Someone asked for Rio also. We'll see how we go with time. Next one, I close this one. Search SLV. This is another US stock. Monthly. Clone. If we really have a look at this, we should be able to get a downsize target. And what we can see is a descending triangle to the downside. I'll do the bigger target. So all we're going to do is get the price targeting tool. Top to bottom to breakout. It's telling us there is a bit more to go down on the downside. Weekly. Where that is right now is consolidation. And we can see it's a descending triangle. Now, the monthly says there's more to go down, so you'd think what you would expect is further lower prices to go. However, we can also do two targets here, down and up, just in case. So the shortest target is there. The next target is there, and the lower target is there. So it's lower prices, and the upside, of course, exactly in the same way, but to the upside. So it depends which way this breaks and so forth. You can actually also do that one. Okay, so which way is it going to break? I don't know, but there it is. Trade what we see, not what we think. Critical. SNDK. SNDK. On a monthly, I have to say this one here is already broken down. Now that's a rising wedge, normally says reversal. In addition, that's what's worrying me about the US market. If this tips over, it's going to take a lot of people by surprise, I think. Now, because the tail's lower than the line, and that's the only thing, and we have a lower price, we can actually go to the bottom of the reversal where it came up and tested and back down. So the target down is from the top to here to there to where it is, and sort of at the moment came back to retest that. But the scarier part is this. From a rising wedge, you click from the top and you click to the next point where it touches, which is here. This is the scary part. Now, because this almost touched there, you can do one there, but I would always look at that first. But always think of this one here too. If it's already broken below, so this is the point that I'm trying to make: is rising wedges are reversals, and that's what's scaring me a little bit. We've got so many rising wedges right now; it's just not funny. So what we're looking at on this one here, SNDK in the US, this has already started its reversal. Now, you would think, at least, if you go across here, it will start to consolidate at least at this point around here a little bit before it decides to make the next decision. So you might stay there for a little while. Weekly, again, what do we got here? Flag. Well, could this be a pennant? So target, saying lower, and if it breaks below this bottom here, it's even lower again. So even your weekly saying lower prices to go. Daily, depends which way it breaks right now, but I'd be looking like so. Auto size, you can see there it is lower again. So that's the way I'd be treating it. This is showing that it's got lower prices to come. That was SNDK. I got one more to do for the US, which is XLV. XLV. The health sector chart. Okay, go to monthly first. Oh man, this is like a rocket. God, wouldn't you want to be at the bottom of this? Accelerated trend. Clone. And oops. Let's do it again. It's actually from the bottom, isn't it? Now this is another sandwich, isn't it strange? You from here, we're broke below. This is actually a clone line. Just reclone it because I did it the other way. And like so. So again, there's no reason. This is still saying it's got more room to go up. And for looking at the right hand screen, there's a new month about to begin tomorrow. So basically, if another candle will start here, we'll see which way it breaks. Go on the weekly now. Looks like it's got more room to move up. and accelerated trend, clone, it's still within its channel, although it might come back down to here looking at this. We really got to look at the daily now. It looks like this might be a double top here on the daily, that is. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, here we go. Anything with within 5% of the previous, it could be considered a double top. In other words, here, looking at that, and here we can go to the body, and this price is within 5%. So what this is really demonstrating now is consolidation. Now, if it stays within this range and then decides to move up, well and truly and good. But right now, if you're in the stock, I would hold it. If you're looking to buy it, I'd wait. The only way you're going to be assured is really if it's got to start breaking above that point. Then you can see the trend is continuing. But right now, this is demonstrating a consolidation, nothing else. So it's on a wait and see attitude, so to speak. So wait and see on this one. Okay, that's the US stocks. Qantas. We've got here. Remove that. Remove that. Monthly. That was its first target. Then its second targets are from there. So that hit its first target. Really, the monthly doesn't give us any more than that other than these targets. Go to a weekly. Major consolidation. Really, weekly doesn't even give us any more than that. No, never daily. Just there, then there, then there. Can't even get an uptrend on this one. Get rid of this now. Not valid. Actually, that was from there to its breakout point there. So that's past that point. This is frustrating on this one. If I clone that, how many bars have I got in there? 15 bars. For any flag, you need a maximum of 13 bars, so we got way too many for any big size flag. How would that look on a weekly again? Let's have a look on the weekly. Oops. Oh, I stuffed that one up, didn't I? Do it again. Clone. Well, it's not too bad actually. If this breaks to the upside, you're looking at $3.80 to $4. And this is the only thing we got left. Because if we go to the daily, all it did is given us this little bit of small channel forming, nothing else. So we really don't have much at all other than the weekly target. So hopefully it breaks up as for a new week next week. Not much more we can do with Qantas either. So they really are in this consolidation phase at the moment. CCL. CCL. Again on a monthly. Doesn't really give us much. It really doesn't, so go to the weekly. It hit its target on the weekly, and it really doesn't say much at the moment other than that. We're going to have to go to a daily also. My goodness. Target. Just hit the damn thing. What we do have also, actually, just let me delete some of the stuff. It's closed the gap. We had this huge gap here. Let's just extend the line now. Okay, so right on that, so we actually come and close this gap, and we are consolidating here at this point. But we also just get rid of this target here just to clean that up a little bit. Now, with this line going right across to here, and let me just clean it up a little bit so we can see this a bit better. There, and basically like so. So this is an ascending triangle that's failed to the downside also, and targeting down from there to its breakout point is the same target. And if it goes lower, let's see what happens at this point. It's telling us potentially it can actually go down to $9 in the $9.50s basically. So that's off this ascending. Again, it's not the cleanest ascending triangle, I have to say, because the data is distributed mainly on the lower side with one line which is a wick going to the top end. And that's really it on CCL. Healthcare Index, XHJ. Okay, God, that looks familiar again. On the daily, you can see another bearish flag there. The monthly, we can see it went past our original target. That's where it was. I had nothing else to say it was going higher. On the weekly, we had a flag that pretty much hit the top of our target, okay? Literally hit the top of our target, and that was it. And we had drawn a channel also. We'll just extend it. And it was also at the top of our channel, the inside channel here. So hit our target, top of the channel, Let's go to daily to see any other decisions. And that's the same channel that we were looking at. And we extend that. And he went into an accelerated trend, as we can see from here. The reason we can draw this line here, because this high is higher than that high. And as it broke down below, we had a bearish flag, as you can see just there. Now, as it breaks below your target, and ho behold, it's consolidating at that point. So again, what we got here is consolidation phase. There's nothing more we can do with it. We really just got to watch it consolidate and see what its next decision is. There was nothing on the weekly that said lower. No, just the target's been hit. So our projections to the upside have been met. That told us we're at the top end. If we were still holding on, wanted to see if it's going to go higher, when this broke on the daily, if you refer to the daily chart on the left, once it broke below that, you really had to be closing the position. As it made a bearish flag, you could have gone short and take advantage of a short position. And that's all we can do. You can still hold your short if you want, but a target has been met, and there is no target saying it's going to go lower. So personally, tomorrow's Friday, I would have probably taken the money off the table already, since my target's been met. CSL, and then the Aussie dollar. Okay. Now somebody's actually just asked me XJO. I thought I'd done the XJO. Can someone confirm that I did do the XJO or not? Just type a comment. I thought that was after the S&P 500 that I did. So someone makes a comment, would appreciate it. I thought I've done it. Graham, thank you. No, I did not. My apologies, and I ticked it off also. I'll come back to that. CSL. Let's have a look at CSL here. We had basically, look at this bull hook here on the monthly, and shot up. And out of a bull hook as a price target, at the bottom of it, to the top of it, to its breakout of it, we're there, okay? There's the rising wedge, the top of the rising wedge. You know, I'd be taking my money off the table. Yeah, I'd use a weekly and a daily to confirm for lower prices before I do that, but a major target, a monthly's been met, okay? You are at the top of the resistance point, okay? So upside is minimal. That's the thing, upside is minimal. Let's have a look weekly. We can see targets been met. That's off the bull hook here too. Then you had little flags, don't know what the heck that is, consolidation phase, up target of the consolidation. So the consolidation phase target's already been met. If you look at the other targets, let's say, from here to there to its breakout, that was there. From here to there to its breakout, there. From its consolidation phase to its breakout, there. So all targets, I'll just get rid of them, these ones. There you go. All the targets have been met. So, I mean, common sense says take your money off the table. But let's have a look also at the daily. There they are, consolidation. That's broken to the downside. Let's extend this channel line up on the upside. Where's my scissors there? Okay. It's broken below, target down. This is saying down to 86, 87. Out of the channel, broken down. So from the top to the previous point of the channel to its breaking point, This is suggesting $79 mark, 79.70 odd. So for me, I would be looking to take my money off the table. Now, that's just me, not personal advice. Just remember that. That's just me. Okay, let's do the XJO. I apologize, I thought I've done the XJO. Monthly. Again, we talk about sandwiches. This is a sandwich on the monthly. Price supported, broke below, resistance now, resistance, resistance, resistance. So this is a classical sandwich. Now, the price, we had a rising wedge, and it did break the rising wedge to the upside, okay? And it's still really, this knocks the rising wedge out now. I might as well remove it. It's useless at that point. I mean, the only point is, if we leave it, this could be its support now, okay? Technically speaking, it can go a bit lower, right? I can bring it a bit lower to there. Okay, so in other words, we're on this top, touching the line. You can see now it's been supported. This might create a sandwich, so we better leave it there actually. Now, if the XJO does go up, well, let's have a look if there's anything potential here. Okay, if I can clone this. Look, what we might do is we might get a flag. Now, at the end of the day, we'll see how it closes tomorrow. Tomorrow is, in fact, today was the 30th, so last day of the month. So, being the last day of the month, well, new bar tomorrow, and if this turns out to be a bullish flag, will be fantastic. Means more side on the upside, and this will be its brick wall. Again, if it fails, it'll go straight down, and basically support would be down to here, in that area there. So we just got to watch what he does on the monthly. Let's have a look at the weekly. Last week we drew it like so, and we said, is this going to break on the upside or the downside? And it broke on the downside. And remember, drawing it this way, this is a weekly rising wedge, okay? The weekly one is valid, the monthly one is not, okay? So basically this is still a rising wedge. This is broken to the downside, and it's saying that from here to there, to there, that's its target. So basically right on top here. Daily. What do we see here? Consolidation phase, don't we? Okay. We had targets on this. Once it broke, let me just redraw it a little bit better, however. Like so, which validates that as a retest, and that's its target. We're pretty much there. This is what we did in the last webinar. We put potentials in there. We draw the line roughly where I thought it was, and obviously you finesse it as it goes along. And yes, that's its retest, hit its target, but now what that does, it gave us a consolidation phase. And sure enough, even with this line, we can just line it up a little bit better. Just touch, now touching there also. So basically, again, it's consolidation. That's what this is saying. If it breaks below here in this consolidation phase, this is what happens. From the top to the bottom to its breakout point roughly, and it'll go down to the 5,000 mark, 5.5. So, or it's going to play around this area, and if it breaks above, not anytime soon, as it is at the bottom side, and you can see at the 6.2. I'll delete the upside because I don't want anyone thinking I targeted at the upside at the moment. We are at the bottom side, okay? So I'll get rid of that too, actually. So remember, if it breaks to the upside, up target. If it breaks to the downside, down target. Whole thing is trade what you see, not what you think. Unfortunately, a lot of us do make that mistake, even myself sometimes. My hunch gets the better of me, and stupidity takes over, in other words. If we just stick to the rules, trade what we see, not what we think. Like I said, we all make mistakes, even I do occasionally, because like all of us, we get a bit overconfident. Now, done the XJO. I was going to do the Aussie dollar next. AUD equals, and right. How long have we been going for, actually? What have we got here? Where's my clock? For an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, we've got a bit of time still. So we can do Rio also. Somebody else, can you do Rio, please? I'll have a look at that. Okay, let's look at the monthly. Okay. Draw the line right from the bottom, major support area, and lo behold, stopped around there. Okay. Also, we draw touching the tops, clone that, and this is the top, the bottom line here. Okay, this, we thought maybe this could be coming down to a, a support area, but broke right through it, and look, it's right on this intersection now, major consolidation phase. So we expect major consolidation phase right now. Okay, it really doesn't give us any more than that. The target's been met, so my computer just switched there. We'll go to a weekly chart. And here we go again, the same, we'll look in the clone part, that's the clone consolidation phase. Targets, look, if we do the targets, they've all been met, so what we do have realistically right now is this, is a consolidation phase. Probably like roughly around there, okay? It's broken on the upside, and as long as this closes above this section here, it stays truly above it. In fact, I might have to just be conservative, just to raise it a little bit more, just there. If it closes above there for this month, then we will be looking at a target on the upside. Okay. If it doesn't, it'll be trading in this range here. Okay. So right now, if it breaks above, that's what we're looking at. Let's go to a daily, see if it gives us any more. Hopefully it might even use a flag or something bullish. Okay, as you can tell, that's what we did last time, consolidation phases. And we had a target on the upside based on this. It hit it. Now, oh, that's the wrong one I got. Oh, I'll do it again. Clone. Okay, now I don't know if this is going to be a flag. It looks like a flag, I just don't know. But if it is a flag, and a bullish flag that it looks like, that means we expect the green bar to occur and hopefully break on the upside as the new day begins, the month of May. Okay, if that happens, and I use the word if, and it breaks to the upside, if it breaks to the upside and manages to go past this point, okay, manages to go past that point, then its up move will surprise a lot of people because everybody's expecting, Aussie dollar to go down. Then you'll be looking around the 83, 84. Now, what can the dollar do to stuff everybody else up? It's to go up. And usually if everybody says down, you might as well go the opposite side. So there's nothing at the moment to say this is going down. Everything now is consolidating to the up. In fact, if we take these lines just here, these ones, and just extend them right around here, this is its support now down here. So hopefully this will consolidate to the upside. Watch it very carefully. If it does, you can have a bloody good trade. Many pips to go. I mean, if you're looking around 79 to 83, you're talking, well, looking at this, nearly 400 pips. Mullah, mullah, mullah. Okay, there's nothing more I can really say about that. If anything, I think, actually, just to finesse this a little bit, oops, wrong one. I grabbed the wrong one there. Not you. No, I thought I might have got a broad information there, but nothing. I'll just remove that's not really needed now. It's past that point. Okay, and that's the Aussie dollar. I'll go down to intraday on this one a little bit more. 60. Here we are here. Now look what we got on an intraday. 60 minutes. Not really the best, is it? Probably more like it than this one. And go to the go conservative, the bodies. Oh, okay. So that target's been hit. How about trend-wise? Accelerated trend. There you go. Well, on the accelerated trend, we've got support. So really on a 60-minute basis, wait for an additional pattern. I mean, unless you're expecting a horn, which is really the same target. Okay, so basically, it's the same target as that. Because, in fact, actually might be a touch lower than we're seeing. Oops. Sorry. Just get rid of that. This is saying lower, but again, there's the support area. Here's the trader to the support, not this price target. So I'll leave it on there as for future reference. I'll do one more bit here on this one here. I'll go to 180 minutes just to see if there's anything more than that. See, yeah, you're looking at support again there, so I would say this is going to consolidate in this area for whatever reason it is, and before it shows its hand again. There's really nothing much more than that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more than that. That's broken below, so no. I reckon it'll consolidate just looking at this. I suppose, yeah, I can't see it anymore. I think it's consolidation. Okay, Aussie dollar. What was that? Rio. I'll do Rio quickly. Yeah, I remember this one now. Look, this is your monthly. It's a tight consolidation between your 55 to what, $62 or so now. So it doesn't really give you any more than that on the monthly. Go to the weekly and it tells you the same thing. Oh, what's going on? We can see almost the same thing. There's nothing it really can give us there. No additional patterns, just telling you it's all in the same consolidation phase. Go to daily. And because this trades internationally also, that's why there's all these gaps everywhere, which I really hate. Basically, what have we got? Coin. No, just lift it up. Look, there's 3 bars. Is this a pennant? If it is, you can and breaks below, you can down target. I'll just put what's my cropper? Okay, that'll be support if it breaks down to from wherever level. Again, price, assuming this breaks on the downside, if it's a pennant, you're talking about your previous low, but the safest thing to do is trade it to this support area. And really that's it. There is nothing else that Rio gives me at the moment because it's in that consolidation phase, as you can see from your weekly and monthly charts. It's just in that phase and it's just getting tighter and tighter in that area there. Now I've been asked one more to do. Where's farmers? I'll do this and I'll finish up from there. Yes, I remember this one too now. Look, if you look at the monthly again, what do you got? Just switching over. Look at the consolidation phase. It's there for, what, more than 12 months. Just tight going sideways in a range between 39 and 45. Yeah, it's a $6 range. It's tradable, but certainly you wouldn't trade it on a weekly or daily basis. I think more, maybe daily, but probably intraday. You go to a weekly, you can see from the weekly, it's just been tight in the area. So there's no real growth now. Obviously, that might be paying a really good dividend, so people buy it for dividend rather than anything else. But primarily, this is just a sideward moving stock, as you can see all these weeks, right? Just sideways. Daily, and that's your trading range. But geez, it's such a mess, really messy stock. You know, you can see that's its brick wall. Look how bloody messy it is. You try to do something with it. You know, potentially a dirty flag, as I call it. Targeting it would be from the bottom here to the top of the bodies. Oh, what did I do there? Just delete that and do it again. Top of the bodies I would use because it's so dirty. And you can see it's talking about up to the top, but I would only trade it to this line. Again, you're so close to it, it's just not worth it. You've got to look at this, and when you see a pattern like that, then you might get a trade quickly, but that's about it. There's nothing much on it. Look, that was a descending triangle when it broke. You've got to follow it like, you know, like a hawk, and that's its target. The next target was down here, and just missed its target. So I'm sorry to say on this one here, but that's all I can do. It's not. This many years ago, this was a good stock to trade, but as you can see the way it is now, I think, like I said, a lot of people take this for dividend than anything else. Well, I hope that's been helpful, everybody. Thank you for your time. I will get another email out probably by the next 4 or 5 days for the next one. It'd be wise that if you have any particular instrument you want me to have a look at, really just give it to me in advance, and I can plan it, and I'll put it in a list, and I can just go through it in as it comes across. So if you get anything like that, just let us know in advance. It'll be much better. This webinar has been recorded, of course, so what I'm going to do is convert it in the next hour or so and publish it. It should be there by tomorrow. The existing past links that you have, you can go to all past webinars. For all of you that were at this webinar, you'll get a follow-up email to say thank you for the webinar, and we'll give you the updated link anyway if you misplaced the old one. So again, thank you so much. I hope you all have enjoyed the webinar. I hope it's actually been very helpful for you, and hope to see you soon in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.